Hello, what's up, everybody? Boss Boxing Predictions is back. Yeah, there are several fights this weekend who are interesting. We're talking about. Neither are really big, unfortunately, but there are some big names fighting. Yeah. First of all, on Friday we got a heavyweight matchup that is interesting. Tony Yoca versus Petar Milas of Croatia. So Yoka, both guys are undefeated, but Milas hasn't had, he hasn't fought since 2019, almost 2 years. It was in October. So Milas says he's a young guy. He's from Croatia, of course. Um, He's a little bit shorter, but not that much. He's almost 6'5", while Yoka is 6'7". So Mila says 15-0. Is 15-0 with 11 knockouts, and has stopped, among others, Kevin Johnson. He's one of the few to stop Kingpin Johnson. He also has wins over Francesco Pianetta, Dennis Bacto, Johnny Miller. Yeah. So this is his first really big test, of course. And Yoka, of course, he is 10-0 with 8 knockouts. He was the Olympic champion. He stopped Johan Duhopa in one round and beat Christian Hammer on points. And in his last fight, he stopped Joel Tambo Jacko in 12 rounds. Even though he has scored mostly knockouts, he hasn't really he failed to put away a guy like Christian Hammer, who is a lot shorter, 6'2". So that may mean that he can, sometimes struggle against guys that are smaller than him. Even though Milas is taller considerably than Hammer, he I think has enough skills and maybe enough power even to present a serious challenge. I haven't seen much of him, but as I said, this will be a pretty big test for him, and I'm not sure how he will respond because, as I said, he hasn't been fighting for a long time, hasn't fought, uh, and but for what it's worth, he's signed with Frank Warren, and he's getting enough, I guess, right guidance and training. So anyway, this fight will be a really important fight because it will prove how potentially big threat to the throne that guy Yoka is. Simply, yeah. If he manages to win impressively, especially if he stops Milas, then he is definitely, a big threat to Joshua or Fury or anybody else at the top. White, Wilder, yeah, Ruiz even. Yeah. But if he doesn't really impress, if he only wins on points especially if he doesn't win, then of course, it's just a sign that he will have to work a little bit harder, or maybe, but I still think he is so far proven that he has what it takes to be dangerous, to a dangerous opponent to anyone, and to challenge one of those the best guys and title holders. Definitely. Yeah, so Milas is, I don't know. I'm not really too high on his chances, unfortunately. I would love for him to win because he's from the same area as myself. He seems like a pretty nice guy, humble and all. But that's inactivity was very unfortunate for him. I don't think there are big chances that he can win anyway because of that mostly, and because of Yoca being, who he is, a very strong puncher, dangerous opponent, very tall and all that. But of course, anything is possible in boxing. We know that by now. So anyway, I think Yoka will most likely win. I don't know really. He can win on points and he can win by a knockout. Simple as that. But he is the most likely winner of this fight, I would say. Yeah, that's right. All right. Moving on. Yeah. We got, of course, Sam Eggington versus Bilal Jakitu. Sam Eggington, has suffered a few setbacks, in the recent years. He's also been stopped by Leon Smith, of course, and before that by Hassan Mwakinyo in only 2 rounds, which was the big shock because Mwakinyo didn't really have a really great record anyway. Only 13 fights before that with 2 losses. And then he lost to Ted Cheeseman last year, but then he beat Ashley Theophane. But Ashley is already, far past his prime by now. But he also beat the very clever or tricky Carlos Molina, but you can say he is also far past his peak, So this guy, Bilal Jakitu, he's from France. And he's 15-0 with 6 knockouts, so it means he's really not a big puncher. He can stop. He has stopped, I've seen some minor fighters, but yeah. I guess he's not completely without power, but he's probably more of an accumulation puncher, while Eggington, I guess he's a little, a harder puncher of the two, probably, yeah. He has won, by a knockout rather early, also against some of the guys that were not completely crap. So I think, I don't know really, Eggington is still 27, but he's had 37 fights already. And this guy, Jakitu, doesn't say how old he is, but he's had only 15 comparisons, so that's a big, difference, because yeah, I don't really know him though, but there are some guys who are high on him. I've heard. So this will be a rather interesting fight. Eggington might win, especially if he gets help from the judges, but this is in Coventry, right? West Midlands, and of course Eggington is from Smethwick, which is also in the West Midlands, so he will have the help, of course. Everything will be on his side, So I think he will win, maybe, most likely, because I don't think Jakitu hits hard enough to stop him, So I can see this going to the scorecards and Eggington winning some kind of close victory, maybe even by split decision. Alright, then next coming up is Oscar Valdez versus Robson Conceição, I guess. I don't. Yeah, it's well, of course, I think some of you at least have heard that Valdez has now been found out that his blood samples have tested positive for some kind of banned substance. So yeah, that kind of puts even though this is still for WBC title, but it puts a question mark around this fight. Yeah, it does, of course. I mean, Conceição is definitely the underdog, you know. This Brazilian guy who's got 3-star rating on BoxRec, 16-0 with 8 knockouts. So I think definitely this fight will not go the distance. I will be very surprised with it. Valdez will win within like 6 rounds probably, or something like 8 at tops. Yeah. So this will be interesting in future to follow this case, you know, with Valdez. Alright, we got Sonny Edwards versus Jason Mama. Also, Mama has been very confident before this fight. But I can see he's not really a big puncher. He's undefeated, 16-0, but 9 knockouts. That's not so much. And he hasn't fought really that great level of opponents. So of course, Edwards is the favorite to win on points. And then the last one will be, I guess, let's see. Well, we got Kerman Learaga and Dylan Sharad. This is one which I'm pretty interested in because Sharad has looked pretty, you know, pretty good in his latest fights. He stopped Dmitry Mikhailenko and Johan Perez, and yeah. So, well, Learaga, we know, has been kind of exposed against David Avanesian twice. But I guess he scored some decent victories since then, nothing major. And so, you know, I think, of course, Dylan Sharad should win this fight. I don't know if it will be by stoppage, but he hasn't also had a fight since 2019. So yeah, I don't know really if he will be able to stop him. Because this fight is in Barcelona, it may be difficult to get a decision. Maybe, I don't know. So yeah, and one more fight: Zaur Abdullah versus Dejan Zlaticanin. So Dejan Zlaticanin is coming back again. So he suffered a couple of losses since then by knockout. The last one in 2018 to Roberto Ramirez, TKO2. Before that, he was, of course, knocked out by Mikey Garcia. 3 rounds. So this is a fight for a vacant WBC silver lightweight title. And Abdullayev looks like the stronger favorite on paper, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, he does have one loss. He was he lost to Devin Haney by corner retirement in 4 rounds, but he has fought, you know, since then. I mean, twice, and he beat Pavel Malikov by a knockout in 7 and Zora Hamazarian on points this year in March. So Zlaticanin seems to have really lost his edge, you know. So I don't think he will win this fight. It's also, I think, yeah, it's in Russia, so, you know, Abdullayev is from Russia, of course. You know, I unfortunately think even that Zlaticanin may get stopped again, you know, maybe, probably. I'm not sure in which round, but anyway, if he doesn't, it seems like if he doesn't get stopped early, he cruises on to survive, but yeah. So Abdullayev is most the big favorite to win by stoppage, most likely, maybe points. Alright, that was all for now. See you and keep watching my videos. Bye bye.